How can I care? Easter Island was discovered in 1722, an island in Chile with these guys. Stonehenge precedes 2500 BC. Julius Caesar lived from the year 100 BC to 44 BCE. Alexander the Great was born in 356 BC and became a Greek king. Cho had Confucius. India had the first known Patel in the year... Wait a second. There's no first known Patel, but here's this guy. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the first known deputy prime minister. 1987, Kurt Cobain named his band Nirvana, the same Nirvana in early Buddhist teachings. Nirvana, which represents ultimate freedom and liberation from suffering. The Dharma, the ISS. It invited its newest residents, the first ever on November 2nd, the year 2000. Y2K was 25 years ago. Whoa, crazy. Gen Z still think they're the first to discover everything. Everything first generation millennials created. Are we at the part with the monkeys yet? Buddha would be 2,580 years old today. The Crusaders, Jericho, Sargon, Cleopatra, Yellow River people, Martha Stewart, Rosa Parks, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Martin Luther King. Millions of years, civilizations across the world, prolific rulers, peacekeepers, trailblazers, dreamers. PBS said humans didn't evolve from monkeys. Humans are more closely related to modern apes than to monkeys, but we didn't evolve from apes either. Humans share a common ancestor with the modern African apes like gorillas and chimpanzees. Huh? If you don't believe me, here it is. Read it for yourself. Yet you still think I give one fuck about your bullshit. Thanks, OP. We appreciate you. For those of you that are new to the episodes and new to the podcast, I'm Anthony and I'm your host. OP stands for Original Poster. Maybe you didn't spend enough time in the early 2000s on Reddit like I did, but you learn a thing or two in these streets. Thanks for the original diagram. If it wasn't for this diagram, this episode probably wouldn't have been as locked and loaded as it has been so far. Credits to the Reddit user Blazes and Amused, which really like to use the Z's a lot. I don't know. Maybe he was preparing for 420 where there's going to be a lot of Z's. After you smoke and hit the bongs and do your little BRs, you're going to be doing a whole lot of Zing around. He absolutely got chastised for putting this together, this diagram that I used to create 99% of this pre-lap. Except the Yellow River people. That was mine. Thanks to Reddit user PhotoPiperUX, who suggested OP not forget the Yellow River people. I got you, OP. Welcome back to episode 18. I was super excited for today's episode. What kind of got me about today's episode was I didn't have the time to get to it. Life had me pretty crazy busy, and I was like, yo, man, I got to get to this. I got stuff to say, and I'm missing my people. I feel like I've been learning a lot, and I haven't been teaching enough. It's like I didn't have enough time to really dive into my episode this week. But man, when I did have the time, it's really something special. When you can get into the things that you enjoy and the things that give you life. Because let's face it, just working for a living is not fun. Unlike the trolls of Reddit that gave me the spark to get today's episode locked and loaded, we have to recognize and appreciate our journeys. And I could not help but get away from that thought when I was writing today's episode. It is not linear. What we do here on Earth is not linear. And we can't put so much pressure on ourselves to get it right and to maintain status quo all the time. It's just too goddamn nerve-wracking. It really is. How do you live with yourself every day trying to keep up with this shit that you tell yourself? It's not so bad, but it's not so great either, you know, because it builds a lot of anxiety. And instead of enjoying what you're doing here, you end up just chasing your tail trying to keep up with what you're doing. So much so that you forget what you're doing. And then you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? And that's not fun for anybody. Not you, not for anyone at all. So today's episode is to appreciate your journey. Give yourself some grace because damn, life is hard. Not even kidding. Life is hard. And if you don't give yourself some grace, you're going to find yourself one day just kind of scratching your head like, huh. Sort of like Bill Burr. He's such a cynic, isn't he? If not for people like Bill Burr who have built their entire career on talking about self-checkout machines and learning how to lean into their coolness of cynicism, I may not be here today. No, seriously. It's actually because of people like my mom, who's naturally a cynic, that I love cynicism. And I, too, know how to lean into it, which is why I think it's important that we can be able to get this shit off of our chest. Say your piece. And I was talking to a close friend of mine this week, and I said, you know, I just haven't been saying a whole lot. And I feel like I'm going crazy because I haven't been. Unlike self-checkout machines, I work for you. And that's what I'm doing for today's episode. Please subscribe and enjoy this shit that I put together for you and me, because if it wasn't for these episodes, I don't know if I'd have any life left in me to give the rest of the world around me. No, really, I enjoy writing these so much for you, and I enjoy learning about myself along the way. And I think for all 15 of my subscribers, we can all agree that this has been one hell of a ride for all of us. You have to enjoy it. And I can't help but think recently how many people don't enjoy it. I can't help but think how many people are just sucking the very good out of the world around us. Complainers. People that just can't get enough goddamn attention. People that just cannot do nothing for themselves. They just have to suck the very little good out of this world. Don't be that fucking person, man. Don't be a complainer. Don't be mediocre. People like me are killing ourselves to provide solutions and cut through the noise, the white noise that the world provides us. And sometimes by writing simple little stories like I do in these episodes, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me going. It keeps me alive. It keeps me alive. It really does, man. It really does. You have to lean into what you love. As hard as that may be, because sometimes it's like all the things that logically add up and make sense don't end up making sense. Does that make sense? If the dollars don't make sense, then don't count that money, baby, because we ain't got time for all this bullshit. You ain't got time for all this bullshit. You really don't. So that's why I'm like, I want to be able to give myself some grace. And I think I'm one of those people where as I learn, I like to teach, put immediate utility to the things I learn, because otherwise I forget them. And like, let's face it, we've got the attention span of goldfish these days. Social media has made us basically like robots. I mean, it's really gotten out of control, but we won't jump down that rabbit hole right now, because right now I want to talk about Peter Farrelly. Peter Farrelly was heavy on my mind. Peter Farrelly is somebody who I guess none of it made sense for. And nothing really added up for Peter Farrelly, but ended up becoming one of the best writers, prolific writers out there. He didn't have the best curriculum. He wasn't the smartest. He'll admit too that he didn't do much reading. He admits he only read a couple of novels throughout his life before deciding at 24 that he wanted to be a writer. At which point he was ridiculed and scrutinized by everyone he knew. People saying, "Oh, you think you're fucking Hemingway now? Who wants to read what you gotta write?" That hit me. I was like, damn, man. The same Peter Farrelly who wrote Dumb and Dumber. You may know that movie. I know I sure do. Jim Carrey starred in it. One of the greatest movies of all time. An early comedy. I loved it. I learned a lot from movies like that. It really is one of those things that makes you look back and wonder, how does a person keep going? How does a person keep going? Because people like Peter didn't have a lot going for him. He was scrutinized, I think, like a lot of us will be throughout our lives and throughout our careers. Whether you're a writer or an actor or a teacher or, I mean, a school nurse. I almost just knocked my freaking mic to another planet. It's really crazy because we all wear different hats. And if we don't learn to like really lean into that with some grace, like where the fuck is the fun in that, man? Where the fuck is the fun in that? He most importantly wrote Loudermilk, Something About Irene, which are some great watches. Have you ever seen Something About Irene with Cameron Diaz? It's fucking great. It is truly great. Loudermilk is one of the newest TV shows where Ron Livingston is one of the main actors with, what's his name? Will Sasso. And that's his co-star. And Ron Livingston is like this, like very like, he's a recovering drunk, and his life is just miserable. And he's just like, he has an opinion on everybody, and he thinks he's perfect, and he's a critic. He's a critic, a musician, a musical critic, and it's just kind of crazy, like to put together these amazing pieces, and it really speaks to just how amazing we are as humans. It really speaks to how amazing we are, because we don't realize how resilient we are. We actually simplify the living shit out of what we do and how we act and who we are, but we're quite complex. Did you know that? You're quite complex. I know you think you're simple, and that's okay because, well, we have to simplify things to make our lives a little bit more digestible, and that's okay. That's quite okay. Will Sasso is actually one of my favorites because on Loudermilk, I didn't realize until like, I think it was season 2 on Loudermilk. And if you haven't seen Loudermilk, please, after my podcast, because you got to stay till the end, make sure you subscribe, okay? Otherwise I have to give you these fucking hands. Go watch Loudermilk. Very, very well written. And it speaks to Peter Farrelly's fucking resilience. It speaks to, hey, the journey is not linear. It really does. But Will Sasso is a great example of the story and the journey that we have in our lives is not linear. And I can't stop kicking around that idea as I get older. As I get closer to 30, I can't help but think, what about the disparity from where I've come from to who I want to be still? It's gonna be one of those things that you're gonna think of. You may think of it often, you may think of it rarely, but you will think of it at some point. You're gonna think about the compression gap between where you are, who you were, and where you want to be. And you should think about those things. You really should, because you probably got a family you got to feed, or dope to smoke, whatever it is you're into. You got goals, right? You got goals. You got to eat. Everybody's got to eat. You got to get your food. You got to get that check. You got to get going. If you don't get going, you might as well get stopped and just stay there and don't get up and stay down. And the thing with Will Sasso was, as I was watching in season 2, is the motherfucker was in Happy Gilmore. And I had no idea. I could not believe it. I did not know this. 20 years prior, he was in Happy Gilmore as one of the movers. Yeah, one of the movers in Happy Gilmore. It got me thinking, what was that journey like? What did he go through? I mean, to be in the industry as an actor, a comic, a musician, a writer, a producer, director, it is not for the faint of heart. It's the machine. The machine will chew you up and spit you out. Especially if you ever get like whitelisted. Once you're whitelisted, you're done. Executives don't even want to look at you. They give you the scrutiny. Could you imagine working your whole life at something that there is no guarantee of ever achieving? There is no guarantee of ever achieving. It's kind of cool because you look at people like Peter Farrelly who have this story of it's not linear. And, he talked about it on, what's his name's podcast? Bernard Hiller has this podcast from like years ago. And I was actually down in the Deep South this week. The Deep South. I was down in Virginia. It's not quite the Deep South, but they all friendly there. And that's how everybody kind of talks. And they're all very friendly. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, right this way. I can't help it, okay? Anyway, I was down there, spur of the moment trip this weekend. If you don't travel and get out and be an adventurous boyfie or goyfie, get out and fucking travel. You can't do nothing from the confines of your house. You can't do nothing while you're sitting around being depressed and sad about fucking life not coming to get you. You got to get up. You got to get after it. You have to get after it. You absolutely have to get after it. Taken from somebody for so many years was just waiting for an invitation. I waited for an invitation to get after my life for so many years. And I'm so appreciative of how stuck I felt, because when you realize how stuck you are and you can get going and you dive into what you love, providence comes in. Enlightenment comes in. Inspiration will fill the doors. One fucking thing leads to the next. And you have to believe that. You have to have faith that that is what happens. You don't have to believe in God. I'm not necessarily a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. I believe. I think things happen without our knowing. That's the way the universe works. You have to understand that there's things beyond your control. And Peter Farrelly talked about this a lot on Bernard Hiller's podcast. Providence will come in when you dive deep into what you love and who you are and what matters most. The ridicule, the scrutiny, it won't matter. It won't fucking matter. It won't. None of it matters at the end of the day. Really. And you can't give it too much weight either, because it changes so rapidly. It really does. And you have to appreciate that things change so rapidly, because it means you're changing pretty rapidly when you can recognize it. It's all inspiring to see how quickly it can change. It's awe-inspiring to learn in general, which will evidently lead to greater providence. There's a fucking hair in my fucking brain that won't stop tickling my goddamn center lobe here. I feel like I'm attacking. I'm feeling... You know, there's like a hair on you and you're just like, get off of me. You start asking fucking strangers, like, you see this hair? You see this hair? Is it back there? Can you see that? Can you see it? Is it there? Can you grab it for me while you're back there? Can you grab it? Come on, do me a favor, you know? You're fucking jamming shit down there, using the fucking sofa. You're like scratching your back with it. Like, come on, I gotta get this fucking thing out of me, man. It's in me. It's innate. It's a part of me. This hair. I feel it. It's there. I feel it. Things have gone off the rails. It really has. I can't help but think about the journey this week. I can't help but think about the time and the time that we're spending and how we spend it and how valuable our time is, and not just that, how finite our time is. And I feel like a goddamn dinosaur thinking about it. I feel like a dinosaur thinking about my time here. But it's true. You have to see that there's time that is well spent and time that is not well spent. But as long as you're learning, even if you're making mistakes, you have to trust that there's a plan. You have to trust that there's something happening that is divine, that is bigger than you are. I've made so many mistakes. So many. I have felt guilty for things that I wasn't responsible for so much of my life. People made me feel guilty for the things I was not responsible for at all. And I was vulnerable because I wanted to be a good person. And because of that, I was able to learn over the years that, you know, you have to give people grace, but don't give them a free pass. Not a free pass. Grace, one thing, but not a free pass. I'm a good enough person to give you grace, not a free pass. You don't get a free pass because when you're interrupting my divine energy, my providence, my one fucking thing that leads to another, my forward momentum. Anybody that's willing to fucking derail your forward momentum does not deserve to be a part of your life. You should take a hard look at that person and consider, how fast can I get rid of you? How fast? How fast can I get rid of you? Because people like that don't deserve to be a part of your life. You shouldn't have to sacrifice so much in your relationships just to have these people be a part of your life. I guarantee you the day you stop doing that is the day they start acting a little different. People start acting up. They see you setting boundaries. They see you following your fucking dreams, pursuing what you love. I thought it was funny that Peter Farrelly wrote Dumb and Dumber, and at the time, studios wouldn't pick up Dumb and Dumber, which turned out to be a really big movie for its time. Like, it really did. And Peter Farrelly will tell you, like, will say in a lot of his interviews, he wasn't a director. He never even considered himself a writer. It took him 10 years before anyone even looked at him. And, you know, he didn't really want to be this big time person. He just enjoyed writing. And he thought he had good dialogue. Like, could you imagine just like, I feel like I could do this. I might as well go do it. And he actually said in the one podcast with Bernard Hiller, he said he changed the name from Dumb and Dumber to A Power Tool Is Not a Toy, which was a song he had heard by the band called Young Adults. And then everybody read it. Everybody was like, oh my God, like I need to read this. And like, because now it had this allure to it. It had a certain allure to it. And then Jim Carrey picked it up and suddenly they turned it back to Dumb and Dumber. Could you imagine? You go to hundreds of studios, hundreds of directors that probably say, wow, this is great, but not it. Change the title. It's awful. Who would want to watch this? Who would be a part of this? Only to give it to Jim Carrey to be turned back to Dumb and Dumber. That's where it started. That's where it started. Like, what more could there be? Like, I can't wrap my head around that. I was listening to that podcast on my way home from Virginia this week, the Deep South, I call it. Deep South, I took a spur-of-the-moment trip. I had to go do some. I heard Virginia was for lovers, thought I had to go check it out for myself, you know? Seeing is believing for me. I got to see it with my own two eyes. If I don't see it with my own two eyes, I don't believe it's true. I think anything in life is worth doing. Even if you do it shitty, just do it so you can figure it the fuck out. Which means get out of your house, go on the adventure, right? Stop listening to all the fucking diarrhea of the mouth people fill up all damn day into your cup. All the crap your coworkers fucking give you, all the white noise that the people fucking around you give, your relationships, your family, people that just pour all this juice, all this fucking nonsense juice right into our cups. They're just polluting us. That's why I started the podcast the way I did today, because I wanted you to see that there's going to be so much shit. There's going to be so much shit that happens that you shouldn't miss out on the big picture. And there's always a big picture. There's always a big picture to it. It may be nuanced to your life, and it should be. But it's up to you to really stand on 2 feet and put your chest out and say, okay, there's more to this. There's something about this. And to let people fill you up with shit is not fair to you. I see how people do it to me. They do it to me often. People take advantage of my goodwill. I think it's because I look confused all the time. I know what these people are doing. That's okay. I'm an observer, though. I may not call you out, but I'm certainly not going to give you a free pass. Don't let nobody get a free pass at your life, because then it starts to interrupt your providence. It starts to interrupt your grace, your divine time to do what you need to do on this planet. And with fucking all the beautiful things going on around us, summer is here just about. Sorry, Bill Nye, but the earth is on fire, and fucking God, why is it so hot, right? Why is it so hot, and why is it so cold? First you're hot and you're cold, and now you're yes and you're no. I don't know. I can't fucking keep track anymore. It's driving me crazy. There's so much happening that it's hard to keep track of. There's so much to appreciate, though. Easter is here. Happy Easter from me to you, right? Right here in the heart of New Jersey. It doesn't matter where the world takes you. I think you got to do it, even if it doesn't come out perfect. Even if it comes out on 420. Even if it comes out on Easter. Even if it does. Even if it does. It's just the way the world works. Even if it does. I mean, Easter Island was discovered fucking back in 1722. That must say something. Think of how many fucking years have passed. All the shit in between. What's it mean? What's it mean? What's it mean? What does it mean? I don't know what it means. I don't know. Who does? I wouldn't sit here and act like a fool for a second and say, I don't know. I got no idea. I'm just an observer, just a speculator, just thinking about it, just looking at it, just considering what it's like. Gets me going, man. Gets me going. I look at people like Farrelly, who quit his job at 24 as some kind of salesperson and pursued writing and said, I'm going to do it for the next 4 years and see where it takes me. And now he does it. And there's an air about this man. There's an air about this man that he's okay. He feels okay because it's all going to work out. And you should know that for you too. It's all going to work out. It's always worked out for you up until this point, right? Maybe there's been depressive days. There's been sad episodes filled with bad endings and a lot of goodbyes. Walking away from really sad relationships, walking into new ones. Maybe it's just how it's supposed to be. It is not linear. Nothing about this is linear. Stop trying to make sense of this. Stop trying to make sense of your life and just try to enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. I cannot tell you how torn I have felt as I approach 30. It has been really difficult because I think the overarching thing for me is having it all figured out. Is it a midlife crisis? I don't know. But I just wanted to have it all figured out. And I think what makes me really happy, and I didn't realize it until this morning, I was on the phone with Jesse first thing in the morning. Jesse. I love Jesse. You got to have a good friend. Not a good friend, a great friend. You got to have a great friend. Not a great friend, a best friend. Nothing quite like a best friend. We all need friends. Community is a part of life. And if it weren't for Jesse, I probably wouldn't realize a lot of things. And I said, you know what, Jesse, you're fucking kind of right, dude. And we're going back and forth. We're talking about time. We're talking about our plans. We're talking about where we've come from, what we want to do. It's been so fun. It's been so fun. But now that we're older, and maybe you're older too, or maybe you're young, who knows? If you're young and you're in your early 20s, you still have a chance to go fucking learn and make mistakes. Time is on your side. Time is on my side too. I'm young. I'm just bitching, man. Like Bill Burr is to those self-checkout machines. He's been bitching about self-checkout machines. I'm not kidding. Probably for the last 15 years. He's built an entire career bitching about the same exact thing. And just now, people are getting excited about what he has to say. He doesn't try. He's not fucking understand. But now I have the wisdom of yesterday to prepare me for tomorrow. Your journey is not linear. It'll never be linear. Happy Easter from the No Name Podcast. Thank you for joining me for today. Hopefully you learned a thing or two from today. I know I sure did. And to all my subscribers out there and all my listeners, thank you for the comments. Thank you for leaving me hate messages, gay messages, whatever the fuck it is people got to say these days. I enjoy it. It's fun. That's what I'm doing here, right? I'm here to start a conversation, and I can't do that alone. I mean, maybe I can. Whatever. May your dreams be big and your appetite to achieve them be enormous. Thank you so much for the support. Make sure you subscribe. And until next week.